What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel and thanks so much for tuning in. The last video I uploaded was a tutorial using all of my most recent recommendations for the Sephora VIB sale that is currently going on right now. In the comments section of that video, Kendyl suggested that I do a video about the products that I wouldn't recommend or wouldn't buy, would stay away from, and I thought that was an amazing idea, so that is exactly what this video is going to be all about. Let's go ahead and dive in. The first thing I want to talk about, I actually don't even have here today to show you because I've already given it away. It is the Natasha Denona Glam palette. And if you saw that video, you'll know it's not a bad palette by any means. It's just not one that I personally want to use. It is great for someone who really loves those cool tone silver taupes, just likes to live in that shade selection like my mom, which is who I ended up giving that palette to because she saw it and was like, she knew she'd get a ton of good out of it. I, on the other hand, and I mentioned it in that review video, it kind of lacked the contrast and color range that I really wanted to see out of a palette of that shade range. And so I felt like no matter how many different color combinations I used out of that palette, there were only so many looks I was ever going to get out of it. And I wanted more range. So if you find that that is also what you tend to look for in your eyeshadow palettes, I would recommend staying away from it in this sale. Next is a product that I bought recently but never ended up talking about because it did not work out for me. It is the Fenty Beauty Brow MVP Sculpting Brow Wax Pencil and Styler. So on the one end, you have the brow wax itself. It comes in this angled, almost crayon sort of format. You brush it through your brows, and then on the other end of this guy, you have the coolest looking plastic comb, almost a toothbrush looking thing that you use to really work that balm or pomade throughout your brows. And I was really excited to try this because any sort of thicker balm texture like this, I thought would really help beef up the texture of my brows, add some fullness, like literally lift the hairs off of my skin and give my brows more of a bushier sort of effect. And it did. However, what I noticed throughout the day is that it pills away. Even with minimal touching to my eyebrows, because I really don't touch my eyebrows all that much, but I just noticed that throughout the day it would be pilling away off of my eyebrows. And so if I didn't kind of actively brush it away throughout the day, I'd have just these little chunks of product kind of floating around my brows. And I tried wearing it every which way, wearing it solo, totally alone, wearing it under products that I would then set with like a powder or a pencil, something else, wearing it over products. I felt like I tried this in any number of combinations, and there's just something about the consistency, the formula of this wax that doesn't mesh with me or my body chemistry, or maybe just doesn't work in general, but I found it pilled away at my eyebrows unlike any brow product I've ever tried before. Now let's talk about eyeliners. I have made 2 eyeliner purchases that have kind of turned out to be duds lately, from new brands even. One is the Rare Beauty Perfect Strokes eyeliner, and the other is the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes Liquid Eyeliner. And I ran into the same issue with both of these, and that is that when I applied them, they look very pigmented, rich, inky black, but as they dry down and they assume more of a matte texture, they become like lackluster, and no amount of layering up can kind of give them the sort of punch that I thought they had when they were wet. Plus, they got patchy on me pretty quickly, I would have to say. And they don't promise to be waterproof, but I don't tend to have issues with needing, waterproof mascara, waterproof eye products on my lids. So I didn't love the wear time with these guys. And I was especially disappointed with the Rare Beauty liner because I love the format. This is like a very chunky calligraphy tip liner that I love the form factor of it and how it actually works. It's one of my favorite eyeliner tips I've ever used, but I don't use it because the formula is not a win for me. So those are 2 sad fails. Another product that didn't really work for me, and I mentioned this in the last tutorial I did, was the Makeup by Mario Master Eye Prep and Set palette. This is basically an eye primer palette. You get 2 cream products, 1 powder product. You put the cream on first and you set with the powder. This just did not work out for me. I didn't notice it amplifying the pigment of my eyeshadows, and my eyeshadows didn't last any longer with this on. It almost made them fade away faster, if that's even possible. I don't know. I didn't find I had a good experience with this, especially considering it is a multi-step eyeshadow priming situation. I kind of thought that it would just, lock down everything on top of it, and to find that I experienced some fading, some movement, it just is like, it's not my favorite. Now on to some overpriced items. These are not bad items by any means, but even with the sale, you can find other alternatives that do the exact same thing for cheaper. The first of which is the Makeup by Mario Master Metal Manipulator. This is really just a liquid mixing medium, and the Jen Loves Reviews mentioned this in her Makeup by Mario review video. The Mayron liquid mixing medium, exact same formula and like half the price. Then there is the Makeup by Mario Master Secret Glow Highlighter. This is a clear, balmy highlight. I love these sorts of highlights. However, Danessa Myricks has one that I actually do have and really, really love and have for a very long time, but you get double the product for the same exact price. So again, even with the 20% or whatever your VIB discount is, you're still going to get it cheaper from other brands, even though these are amazing products. If you are a Makeup by Mario fan, by all means, pick these up because they perform really, really well. But as far as getting a good deal on something, I think there are other things out there. And the last two products I want to talk about, I actually don't own, haven't tried, and it's really more of an anti-haul situation, I suppose, because for as much as I feel like they should appeal to me, they just don't, and I'll tell you why. First up is another Makeup by Mario palette. I feel like I was kind of caught off guard by the fact that he launched his brand so close to the holidays and still has another sort of holiday timed collection coming out, and included in that is the Master Mattes Pro Lip Palette. And for as much as I love playing with my makeup, mixing and messing around with my makeup like his metallics eyeshadow palettes, which are meant to be foiled and you can mix and just really get creative and play around with those, that creativity for me stops with lips, because I find for me with a palette like this, it's just not conducive for me taking it to places, like to apply my lip product on the go. Because lips are really the only sort of product that I find I have to do that with throughout the day. You know, it's the only product you have to reapply on your face. You don't have to do that with blush or eyeshadow or really anything like that. Lips are the one thing that I don't want to play around with when it comes to finding my custom match. So even though when I first saw this, I thought, that is something I could get into, the more I started to play out how practical that would be for me in my everyday life, I thought, yeah, probably not. So hopefully, I mean, I would love to see the formula because I'm sure he's going to make a fantastic lip formula, especially for a matte opaque lipstick. I'd love to see it. I don't want to see it, or for me, it doesn't make sense in this format. Then the other product that I'm very surprised that I have not had this urge to just like hit purchase so far is the Pat McGrath Mega Mothership Celestial Divinity eyeshadow palette. It is like the big 18 pan eyeshadow palette that she came out with a couple of weeks ago, and I am a Pat McGrath fanatic, especially for her eyeshadows. But the thing that's kind of two things that are kind of holding me back on this palette is it's very heavily purple, and I feel like I already have a ton of other purples in my collection, even from her. And the other thing is it doesn't look like there are many of those special shades that she is so known for in her other Mothership palettes. Like, that's really what attracts me to her normal, what are they, 10 pan Mothership palettes. And as I'm looking at all the swatches and like people wearing these, there might be some duochromatic shades in there. There's certainly some interesting shimmery textures, but nothing that looks like it compares to the multifaceted, multichromatic special shades that she puts in each one of her Mothership palettes. So I don't know, that one really surprised me, but it just doesn't appeal to me. And if I'm going to spend that kind of money, it's $78 on a Pat McGrath palette, I want it to be on something that I really just like makes my heart go pitter patter. You know what I mean? Let me know, you guys, what are you planning to pick up? What are you not, what is totally not appealing to you in this Sephora VIB sale? Let us all know down in the comment section below. And thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.